Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Chico Town Hall. We are super excited to be here with you. I'm just going to wait a little bit for a couple more people to sign on. I know we had a lot of people waiting in the waiting room, so we'll just sit by and stand by for just 1 second, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, and we can go ahead and get started. Sam, if you want to go to the next one. All right, so to start off really quick, my name is John and I am the events manager for Race Communications. So we are super excited to be here with everybody today and for anybody viewing on any of our other social platforms as well as we are live streaming on some of our other platforms. Just to go over a little bit of the agenda for today so everyone gets a little bit more knowledge about what we're going to be getting into. We're going to go into a little bit more about Race Communications, where we're going to be servicing in Chico, our products and services, including the benefits of fiber internet, going a little bit more into what we offer plan-wise for the fiber internet, as well as race phone services, a little bit more into what to expect in terms of installation process, and then a little bit more insight into one of our unique features called Command IQ, go into some customer support options, and then ultimately answer any questions that any of the other leaders on this call from Race can answer for you. And then we'll move on to the next slide, please. So everybody that has already registered for this, and if you're viewing right now, you've already entered to win free fiber internet through this town hall. There are two different giveaways that we're doing. One is for 3 months and one is for 6 months of free fiber internet. For anybody that's watching on any of the other platforms, though, you might not have registered. So feel free to scan this QR code or utilize the link that's going to be placed in the chat, and you can go ahead and register for this as well. And next slide, please. And the next slide. So a little bit more about Race. So Race has been installing fiber internet since 2001. So we have been around for quite some time, and we are serving about 30 plus communities throughout California. Chico is one of our newer markets, so we're super excited to be expanding into Northern California. We're the first fiber internet company to offer 10 gigabytes per second fiber internet to your home. And the great thing about us is that we're a California-based company with local customer support that you can count on. So pretty much everybody that is going to be, signing up for any services in the Chico area, everyone will be Chico based in terms of support, which is really unique and really great. So you'll be able to rely on fast and reliable service for any issues that may occur. And additionally, just as a side note, if there are any questions throughout this entire town hall, feel free to use the Q&A section within this town hall. That should be available to you, and you can answer or ask any questions within that, and we'll be happy to answer them throughout the town hall, or we'll just save it towards the end. So look forward to answering any of your questions. And next slide, please. And next slide. So for right now, this is the proposed service area for Chico. We are going to be available to a little bit over 45,000 homes and businesses. This is the initial coverage area. So Race Communications may consider future expansions based on interest from outlying areas. Some of the ways to kind of figure out if your home will be serviced is to type in your address into the race.com website. From there, you'll be able to see what the status is and what you may be able to do in terms of any pre-orders. And ultimately, it'll let our team know if you do submit that whenever pre-orders or pre-sales are available, that our team will be able to reach out and get back to you on the available plans and options for your home or business once it's become fully available. Next slide. And now we're going to go into the products and services. And so a little bit more of a deep dive. Going to pass it over to Caitlin. Caitlin is the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Race and going to take it over from here.
Hi guys, I'm Caitlin. Like John said, I'm the VP of Sales and Marketing here at Race Communications. And I'm really excited to be talking to you tonight, Chico, about Race and our internet and all of our services that we have. It's really going to be a game changer for the Chico community. We're bringing some of the fastest speeds available and also fiber internet. Some of you may be familiar with fiber internet, some of you may not be familiar. So we're going to kind of go through some of the benefits and what separates us from some of the other internet providers in the area. So the difference between fiber internet and copper is we are transmitting data. So your videos and everything that you do over the internet through light, which increases the speed. It also increases the reliability, and makes for a symmetrical connection. So what that means to you is that you're going to have the same upload speeds as download. So you'll be able to quickly download files. You'll be able to upload, game, stream, all of that with reliability and just a whole lot better seamless online experience. And then also, we're immune to interference. And the way that that works is that we're not affected by electrical signals. A lot of weather problems that you might see with copper or satellite do not affect us. And you're also having less interference with nearby devices. You're not competing with as much bandwidth. We also offer more security and less risk of hacking in this age right now, where you're seeing a lot of cybersecurity threats and things like that. Fiber is harder to tap or intercept, and it does offer you enhanced protection against cyber threats. We'll get into it a little later, but we also have an app called Command IQ, which helps with that too, which is free with all of our fiber data plans. And then finally, it is a future-proofing investment. So we have anywhere, and we'll get to it on the next slide, but speeds from 300 to 10 gigabit per second. And it is a game changer. It's faster than copper, it's more reliable than copper, and it's built for the future. As homes are more connected, as you're working on I know that Chico has at the university, you might be working on your papers and your homework, all that stuff at home, gaming. It allows for that kind of future-proof connectivity. We'll go into the next slide, please. All right, so these are our packages here at Race, the data plans that we have. We have something kind of for everybody, for every budget, anywhere from 300, which is our most affordable package. It's good for simple usage if you maybe just are somebody who likes to check Facebook, look at your email, those kind of things. This is good for you, a simple use with not a lot of connections in the home. Then we have 500, which is kind of the blend of speeds meets affordability. And this is a good one if you maybe need a little bit more than just checking your email, but you're not a highly connected home still. This is a good one where you're going to have that balance. You can stream all of that kind of stuff on this plan. And then we have our 1 gigabit per second, which is our most popular plan, and it works for almost all households. So you can upload, you can download, you can game on it, you can have multiple connected devices. When you start thinking about your connected devices too, and you're kind of picking your plan, you want to look into what kind of devices you have in your home. And a lot of people don't think about it. You think about your computer or maybe that you're streaming on a Netflix type of service, but you also probably have smart doorbells. You might have a smart refrigerator, all of your cell phones, your kids' tablets. All of that plays into the devices connected to your internet. And that's where ours, like I said earlier, that upload and download speed and the bandwidth really matter. It's going to allow you to connect all of your devices so you can maybe work from home like some of us do while your kid's on their tablet without freezing on your actual call, which is my actual nightmare. So you can do that one. And then we also have the 10 gig plan, which is our fastest plan. It is the fastest residential internet in Chico right now. And it is great for multi-connected homes. Maybe you do go to the college in Chico and you have a lot of roommates. This is a great plan for you so you guys aren't fighting over the internet. It's also just a great plan for anyone who does want a future-proof, who wants absolutely no interruptions. This is a really popular plan for trendsetters and things like that. So we'll go into the next slide. And phone service. Now, a lot of you people on this call probably wonder, why would I need a landline? It's 2025. This makes no sense. And, at first when I came to Race, I probably thought the same thing, but there's a lot of things that come along with landlines that we don't necessarily think about on our day-to-day. A landline, if you have an emergency and you have to call 911, it immediately locates where your house is, where a cell phone has to go through some more steps to do that. We also, if you have maybe not the best service in your house, it's a reliable connection. If you need one for babysitters, if you need just any kind of emergency backup situation, it's a really good opportunity for you to have that. It is unlimited calling in Canada, the US, and Puerto Rico, and the services start at just $10 a month. So, for the peace of mind, at least for me in an emergency situation, this is something that I think is really worth having. We also have battery backup available if you should need that. We'll go to the next slide, please. All right. So, Chico, you can pre-order today. So we are taking pre-sales, and we'd love for you to put that order in. If you scan the QR code here, if you go to race.com order, or you can call our sales team at the 877-722-3833. What a pre-sale is, just so we're real clear on that, is we cannot install your order quite yet, but you will be the first people in Chico to get service when you are pre-ordering, as long as once your home is released. So as soon as construction's through, we're able to sales release the area, you will be the first ones called. Hey, your home is ready. Let's get you on the install. Let's get you the service today. So it is a bit of a wait. We are expecting the first homes to become available this spring. So it's coming soon, but you can pre-order today. You can take advantage of the month off that you got for registering and attending, and we'll get you all taken care of. All right, we are going to go to the next one. It is the giveaway, and I'm going to pass it back to John. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. So for right now, we are going to announce the first winner of the giveaway, and this is for the 3 months of free internet. And we're going to post that in the chat, but it will be Ellen J. So thank you so much for attending this town hall and for being a part of it. And we will get you all set up with that free internet from Race. Expect a phone call or email from our sales team tomorrow, and we will kind of walk you through all the necessary details and make sure that you're all set up when it becomes available for your home. And we'll go to the next slide. And now I'm going to pass it over to Chris Bader. He's going to go over what to expect during the installation process. Chris is the Director of Field Operations at Race.
Hi, thanks, John. As John said, I'm the Director of Field Operations. My team is in charge of your installation, the drop process, which I'm going to go over, the installs, the troubleshooting afterwards, if you guys would happen to need that, and the dispatchers that's going to call and schedule a lot of the installation drops. That's what my group does. We already do have a warehouse in Chico. We have supervisors and a field group ready to go. So as soon as we get those releases, we're going to be calling you guys to get installs done. So I'm going to go over the steps. Next slide, please. So step one, after we've called, scheduled your install, we're going to have to do a drop. So Race is, fiber is brand new to the area. We don't use any existing infrastructure there, existing copper. It is fiber direct to your home, direct to your router. So we have to basically bring the infrastructure from the street, whether it's in the air, we call that an aerial enclosure, or in a vault, that's an underground enclosure. If you had in construction already, you'll see either a square box or a green box right along the sidewalk. Sometimes they're in the middle of the sidewalk. So this group comes in, they either dig from that vault to the house, or they'll drop an aerial line from that to the peak of your house. And that's how the installation starts. That kind of engineering happens months in advance, a year ago. So if it's aerial or underground, it's going to be determined by your existing utilities for the most part. Once this drop is completed, we're going to go to the installation. By the way, the drop, if you go to our YouTube channel, Race's YouTube channel, you're going to see a lot of good videos of our processes, what our routers look like, how the drop works, how the install works. It's a really good thing to check out. Next slide, please. So once the drop is completed, we're going to have a field technician come out. We're going to want an adult decision maker present, somebody that's going to understand what you use your internet for. Our field techs are going to ask you, are you working from business, from home? Are you a college student? What do you use your internet for? Are you a gamer? Where are you going to want it in the house? We do bring fiber straight into the home, so it has to be fed from an exterior wall. So we're going to ask those questions. We're going to ask, have you had any additions? Because all this questions is going to be so you can get your best Wi-Fi coverage you can get in your house. Because when you get 10 gigs of internet, 1 gig of internet, you want really good Wi-Fi. So those are the important questions we're going to ask. We're not going to put it in a garage because you can't get Wi-Fi through garages because of firewalls. We're going to avoid TVs, microwaves, printers. All those things have Wi-Fi interference, so we try to avoid those things as much as possible. Next step. So once the router's installed in the home, we do a special step at Race Communications to make sure you get the best Wi-Fi coverage. It's called a Wi-Fi strength test, which is essentially a heat map. So on the left side of the screen, you're going to see the technician. He walked this home. It's basically an application on their phone. They connect to your Wi-Fi. Where the blue dot is where the router was placed. So he walks through the home. He sees where your internet starts dropping off. This particular home, the customer had some different requests. They wanted to see if we could get Wi-Fi to an exterior RV. A lot of the times going through exterior walls, you don't get Wi-Fi, but we're going to do our best to give you Wi-Fi where you want it. The second side, part of this Wi-Fi test is where we can place mesh units. Mesh unit is a separate device wirelessly connected to your router to extend your wireless network to get to those TVs in the bedrooms, to your gaming centers and all those fun things. You know, refrigerators are on it, your Roomba's on it, everything's on Wi-Fi, so you want to make sure you get coverage. This tech realized where we did the installation because the customer wanted it in his private office. That office was a home extension, so they had it on. And what happens in Wi-Fi, like I said, going through firewalls, it slows the Wi-Fi down. Just by moving the router, adding 2 mesh units, we're able to extend their Wi-Fi network. Really good connection for all their devices, their TVs, their living room, all that fun stuff. We're actually able to get in this photo. I know you don't know where it's at, but right where the orange is where the driveway is hitting the road. Right to the right where it's still green is that RV outside. So we're able to give them the good connection they wanted. Like I said, this is part of the installation. It's included, no extra cost. The field techs will walk through it with you. So it's a great thing that we do at Race. Next slide. Once the heat map is done and we get you good connection, we're going to have you download Race Command IQ to your smartphone. This is to control your Wi-Fi. It has a lot of things that I'll try to hit all the things in this conversation, but has a lot of great options. Number one, you can rename your main network, whatever you want. You can customize your passwords just by clicking on the network button on this application. You can also do a guest network. You can share that guest network through a message, or you can actually show them the QR code on their phone. Your camera picks it up, bam, they're connected to your internet. The great thing is you can turn that guest network off at any time. So if you're having a holiday party and you want everyone to go home at 5 o'clock, just shut off their internet and they're going to go home. The other nice thing about that is because every device this application reads. So if you have children in the home and you want their internet shut off at 9 o'clock at night, you can have internet times for them. So you can shut it off at 9, turn it on at 8. If you work from home, you can make sure your computer is the one that gets the internet by making it a priority. You can do content restriction for your kids' phones, so you can turn off gambling websites, comic animation websites, anything you don't want it, you can block whoever you don't want to be on those on their devices. So it's really customizable. Really great thing to have. It also has Protect IQ, which also blocks security threats, and there's some additional threat protection there to pop-up blocks and things like that. As soon as you connect to your internet and you go to any website, it'll start giving you pop-ups. You're going to see it on Command IQ that something's trying to do something on the network, so you can track all that stuff. It's really great. We use it a lot at my house, so it's a good thing. Also, this is no cost to the customer, so we're going to get this done and on your network before we leave. So once this is all done, our installer is going to get out of your hair. Next step, please. And you're going to be able to enjoy your fast internet up to 10 gigabits up or down. Next up is going to be Michael Joshu from customer support.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you everyone for attending. My name is Michael Josu, and I am the Director of Customer Support here at Race Communications. My team consists of the front-end customer service and technical support agents, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about our router and how we can support it. So our routers, they are a carrier class router, which comes equipped with Wi-Fi 6 technology. This allows us to maximize throughput and wireless coverage throughout your home. It also comes with MIMO, which is multi-in and multi-out, which means that our routers can communicate with multiple devices at a single time, while older technology would only communicate with one device at a time. Our routers also come equipped with our latest security protocols, which is the WPA3, which is the latest when it comes to a secured wireless connection. And when using our routers, you'll have peace of mind knowing that we'll update the firmware to ensure that you always have the latest security protocols in place. No action is required on your end. We'll take care of making sure that the router is always up to date. When using our router, we also gain access to valuable insights surrounding the devices that you have in the home in question. With that information, we can use it to troubleshoot issues that you may be experiencing. Let's say you're having an issue with the internet on a cell phone or a laptop. If you call in or email into our customer support department, our agents will be able to remotely log into the router and review the details surrounding that device in question. After reviewing the details, we'll then offer a solution. If we're seeing speed-related issues, we can see if that device is hardwired or wireless, if the hardware on the device itself is maxed out, or if things like ranger interference is causing issues. Depending on the details, our agents will take you down our troubleshooting path to resolve your issues without needing for us to come into the home. If for some reason we can't resolve your issue remotely, for example, the tree company was working around the poles or on the street and damaged the line to my home, or hey, I spilled something all over my equipment and now my service is not working, a tech must come on site to restore services at the location. Our agents will be able to schedule your appointment by the end of the call to reduce downtime. We aim to roll out to your home within 24 hours once a truck roll has been identified. A huge majority of our support can be resolved remotely, but in the instance that we do need to come onto the property, peace of mind knowing we are doing everything in our power to resolve your issue as quickly as possible. Our goal is to minimize downtime so you can live your life connected without interruptions. Just so many features and benefits when using our routers, but one of the things I like the most is that we include all of these and the router at no additional cost. That's right, we'll provide the router at no additional cost, no rental router charges, everything is included. If you like, you can provide your own router. However, you will lose access to all the benefits like the remote troubleshooting and that Race Command IQ app that Chris talked about earlier. So really, we recommend that you use our router for the best experience. Our customer support department is open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to midnight and can be reached via phone, email, or chat, whichever is more convenient for you. Our support staff is local within our office in Chico or from the comfort of their home as we employ both on-site and remote employees throughout all of California. We're happy to see our support staff local to the areas we're serving and excited to bring fiber to the city of Chico. And now I'm going to pass the mic back to John for our final giveaway of the night. Thank you, everyone, and back to you, John.
Great, thank you. So for right now, we're going to do our final giveaway winner for the evening, and this is for 6 months of free internet. And we're going to post it again in the chat. And the winner for the 6 months is going to be Michael C. So Michael, we will be in touch with you over the next couple of days, and we will circle back with our team to see how we can get you all set up when it becomes available to your home. So thank you so much, and we'll go to the next slide. And then finally, I know that there are some questions that have been asked in the general Q&A. We will go ahead and start answering those as they come in. But if there are any additional ones that anyone may have, feel free to use the Q&A at the bottom of this Zoom. Go ahead and answer, or I guess ask your questions, and we'll be there to answer them. But we can go ahead and start answering some of them. Let's see. Michael, do you want to go ahead and take one of these questions about the 10 gigabyte plan?
Yeah. When I viewed the plan online, the 10 gig plan indicated I would have to provide my own router. Is the router included under that plan? The router is included under the 10 gig plan. So with the services that we are providing with that $120 cost, it will include the router through the 10G port. We'll have a 10G port, I apologize, on the back of that router that will allow you to connect the device so that way you can run 10 gigabit throughout the home.
Yeah, Michael, on those routers, they have 3 1 gigabit ports and 1 10 gigabit port. The 10 gigabit port's the bottom one on the router.
Mm-hmm. And since 10 gig is pretty new, we are the only provider in Chico that has it. We're going to drop a link to a ebook that we have about 10 gig in the chat. So if you want to read more about it, it has the benefits and all the kind of connections, the reasons you might need it, some of the technical stuff that goes behind it. It's a helpful resource if you want to learn more.
Yeah, it goes into you're going to need 10 gigabit compatible devices, right? So if you're going to go to switch, you're going to need a 10 gig switch. You don't want to use a 1 gig switch because you're going to lose that 10 gigabits. So it explains a lot of that, is what Caitlin's pointing to. So definitely a good article to read. I'll answer this one. Bill asked, do we have a customer service office in Chico? Like I said earlier, we do have a warehouse, field operations reports out of it. We already have supervision field techs ready to go. They trained up in Yuba City. They've actually been with the company for a couple of years, and they are excited to launch Chico, so they moved to Chico ready to go. And our construction team also works out of that. So we hire local. All the field technicians and everybody's going to be hired local out of Chico. So I'm pretty excited for that. It's always good to learn new people.
Looks like we have another question from Greg K. And he said, any idea when the race website will be updated to reflect the current deployment timeline so people can get a better sense of when they might be able to expect service and connections? Good question, Greg. As much as I would love for our website to have that, it's a very complicated thing to put in, and we are in the process of improving our website right now. But the best way for you to get this information is if you go to our website, race.com/order, put your address in. If you place a pre-sale with us, you can you will get updates every month, and depending on how far along you are and the frequency, just letting you know where we are in the timeline for installing your home. If you do not want to order a pre-order quite yet, you need to do some more research. I will go ahead and have the team drop an inquiry form into the chat too, so you can just put your information on that. We'll contact you just like we would a pre-order, and let you know, hey, your address is ready to order and we can get you taken care of. So you can either pre-order now and take advantage of that month off that we're offering today, or you can, if you feel more comfortable, just fill out the inquiry form and we will get that information to you. It comes via email updates and we don't send too much email. You'll get it once a month on that just to know where you stand in the line in the process.
I'll answer this question from Bill. He said, will you trench my yard and driveway to lay cable, or will you tunnel underground like you did between junction boxes? So that junction box, usually they're right in the middle of two properties. We'll trench that, usually in a small city like this, not small city, but a big city with smaller yards. We'll hand dig that. So we'll cut your sod out of the way, trench it down about 12 inches, depending on there's granite and stuff like that, put conduit in the ground, put the fiber straight to the side of your house, put the dirt back, put the sod back, make it look like nothing was done. We're not 100% perfect because you are disturbing dirt, but they do a pretty good job on it. If it has to go underneath the driveway, which we 90% of the time avoid, it will be what's called a bore shot underneath the driveway. Before they do any of that work, though, they talk with the customers, make sure they're good with any work around concrete. We don't touch it without talking to the homeowner. And that's why it's important that the decision maker's home when that happens.
All right, I'll take the next one from Happy Campers. When I call customer service, how easy will it be to get a live person right away? It's very easy. You'll be able to call into our 877 number and follow our IVR prompt to the customer service team. Right now, on average, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes between the time of you hitting our queues and getting to a live agent. However, that doesn't mean that there won't be times where that could be higher. One of our goals in customer service is to answer the phones as quickly as possible. We know that our lives are very busy. We don't want to be on the phones longer than we have to be. And so it's very important to us to take care of your guys' issues or answers your questions as quickly as possible. And right now, like I mentioned, the average wait is about 2 to 3 minutes from the time you hit the queues to getting to a rep. And we work towards keeping our numbers low.
I see one coming in from Michael, your iPhone. It says race.com/order doesn't have an area to pre-order. When you put your address in, if it's saying it's not serviceable, go ahead and fill out the inquiry form in the chat and we can look into that for you. It just may not be in the initial projected area.
And
See,
then,
what else do we have? Oh, go ahead, John.
yeah, so someone was just asking, do we offer any TV services? We do not offer any TV right now. So just internet and phone for race.
And just a little background on that, guys. We have found that people, as TV evolves, as streaming evolves, a lot of people are more comfortable on streaming platforms. You're getting, exclusive content and things that we just simply can't offer. And so you're getting a better deal with those streaming services. So we decided it just was not a product we wanted to focus on. With that being said, though, we do have fiber internet, which allows you to stream on all of those platforms much more seamlessly. So I don't know if any of you have kids, but if your like kid says, "Oh, why is the TV freezing?" It won't do that on Race. So you want to have something very reliable, very stable when you're streaming on all these platforms, and that's the part we can offer. But you can go to your favorite streaming service and get your TV there. Lots of questions coming in. There's a question in from Jay about the 10 gig plan and if it does require a router. We do include a router in the 10 gigabit per second plan. So that's included with your data plan when you purchase that. Bill, it looks like you said I have a pre-order and you're not getting the emails. If you want to hold on. If you want to send an email to us at sales@race.com, we can look into why you're not getting the emails and if there's maybe a typo or something like that in your email address. But let's make sure that you do get your pre-order emails and kind of know where you stand on that.
So there's a question on here about the subdivision. Will we use existing utilities? No, we don't use existing utilities. Race comes in, and they put new infrastructure everywhere. We can't go in power lines, other copper lines, other providers. We put brand new infrastructure in when we build it out. There's some other questions too on timelines, and they're kind of all asking the same thing. When? We're expecting to start installations by spring, or right at the beginning of spring in the second quarter. So right around the corner, we're starting installs. Also, how fiber works, it's connecting the dots, right? So once our fiber is in place, as soon as dots start connecting, that's how areas are released. If there's a gap between dots, those areas won't be released until we get those parts infrastructures completed to connect the dots at the end of it. So yeah, springtime is when we're going to start. So right around the corner, really quick from now, we're going to be reaching out to customers, start scheduling installations.
All right, it looks like there's an anonymous attendee who has Xfinity right now, and they're paying for speeds 800 megabytes per second. They usually only get around 300, and you're asking if you pay for the 10 gig, will you get 10 gig, or will the speed be limited by other factors? And that is a great question to ask us. So it does depend. I want you to think of the fiber internet as kind of like a highway. So with our internet, with copper internet, you may have a 2-lane street. With our internet, you're probably having like a 8-lane highway. And so you're able to have more connections and not get those traffic jams that you would on a smaller kind of bandwidth situation. So in a perfect scenario, yes, you can get 10 gig. You have to also have the equipment, and your laptop has to be able to receive that 10 gigabit. We are a little bit ahead of some of the technology on that. But what it's really beneficial for, and what most people are actually getting it for, is that it's allowing more bandwidth into your home. It's allowing you to, work from home, increase your data usage, stream in 8K, use your cloud services that you have, all of that without having, lag, without having everything freeze and kind of the network jam. It just kind of opens up the freeway so you don't have traffic.
Yeah, and if you're an engineer and you're trying to upload an email out or upload to a file, that 10 gigabit's going to be fast, right? If you have catnaps and things like that, that's a good thing. Reality too, normal cell phones, PlayStations, they don't speed test for 10 gigabit. You have to have special equipment to get 10 gigabits. That's why we have a 10 gigabit handoff port, so you can get that special equipment to utilize your 10 gigabits. So hopefully that clears it up a little bit. There's questions too. What's the time frames? Generally, when we start a project, the first installation, when it happens, the project is the last customers within a year and a half to 2 years. I know that sounds long. That's when the end of it is, where we have everything lit. I mean, there's how many homes here? 40, 45, 50,000. I can't remember. We've done a couple of these, but within the first year and a half, the bulk of customers are going to be ready for install. There's always cleanup work to finish out permits and tie fiber in. But that's going to be your time frame on a lot of it. We don't want to wait. We want to get you guys installed as quick as you can. So if you're lit, when we start installing homes, you're going to get a call right away.
Are there any other questions from the audience? Ask them now. Ask away.
All right, so I think we are going to wrap up now. If you have any further questions, feel free to call us, and we'll be able to try to answer those as quickly and as correctly as we can. But otherwise, we look forward to servicing the Chico area, and we hope to have you as Race customers in the near future. So thank you so much, and have a great night, everybody.
Thank you for
Thank you.
joining us. Have a good night.